Welcome back to Los Comics TV. It's entering our 5th week now. It's Sunday, April 19th. So I guess this is a legit channel, right? I guess we got to hit that month mark, which would be later this week. So pretty sure we're going to make it. Anyway, let's get to it. I'm your host again, Javier Hernandez. If I didn't say that in the beginning, but I haven't changed in the last 30 seconds. Still me. Anyway, I'm going to do another drawing demo. It's productive for me. I get to, practice my drawing, do another page in a sketchbook, and gives you guys something to look at, right? So anyway, let's get to it. Today I'm going to draw the crow, which I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with the character in one way or the other. If not the comic, then the film. The 1994 film starring the late Brandon Lee. Young actor there. But yeah, let me, I'll talk about the film for sure. Just wanted to, over the years, it's interesting. People have, they do this comic book, El Muerto. This guy comes back from the dead, November 2nd, Day of the Dead, through the supernatural powers of a pair of Aztec gods. But, so from the beginning, I was asked a lot, like, people would just, naturally ask or assume, is this based on the crow? Is this inspired by the crow? And I understand the question because they're both dead guys. They got white faces. At least the crow version from the movie. I don't think in the comic he originally had necessarily the white face. But, these two dead guys dressed in black and, coming back from the dead almost at the same time, right? Isn't Devil's Night from the Crow comic? Isn't that November 1st? I think it's right after Halloween. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty interesting. But, I tell people, I go, no, I love The Crow. The film, my first exposure to the character as far as I remember. I mean, I may have seen some artwork, the comic here and there, but yeah, it was really like when the film was coming out and then I think about the trade paperback. But so I told people, at the time I was already, dabbling with the idea of El Muerto in my sketchbooks and such. But I was definitely interested in checking out The Crow just because it looked like a neat film. But yeah, let's see what someone else has done with this a dead guy coming back from the great beyond, right? So, so the short just answer, no, not it wasn't like a direct thing where it's like I saw The Crow, like okay, now I'm gonna go do my character. But a lot of people drawing from similar sources, and coming back from the dead, that's definitely an old literary story. I mean, I'm thinking of Frankenstein for one. Oh man, okay, yeah, I'm drawing at an angle like this, so when I lift it up, yikes, yeah. So I want to make sure I can keep this on camera without sticking my head in it, so I'll have to fix this in the coloring. Man, it's way off. I mean, just okay, hang on, let me yeah, I gotta look at it a little more straight on. So yeah, the original Crow comic came out I think in the late 80s, 89. Then it was picked up by, it was by Caliber originally, then it picked up by Tundra. And then eventually, I think Kitchen Sink, picked it up. I guess, Obar just makes a deal with the new publisher. And Kitchen Sink put out, the first trade paperback collection of the issues. And that's the book I would have bought. Yeah, it's about 93, 94. Right, obviously in time for the movie. That's the smart thing to do as a publisher. It's like, okay, let's get that collection out. There's a movie coming out. I couldn't find my copy before I started filming this, but I think it says on there based, you know, now a major motion picture, which is, like I said, that's a standard thing they do in the book business. They'll do it with novels and comics and such. So, in Metal Bar, I think about probably when as the movie was coming out, he was doing a big signing tour. So I met him at a local comic shop in the Cerritos. If you guys know my area here, Cerritos, California, home of the Cerritos Mall, and some huge car dealership out there. But anyway, it was a comic shop. I forgot the name of it, and I think they had another one in like Orange, California. But yeah, they've been out of business for a while. Well, right now I hate to say it, right, because of our pandemic and such. They're all kind of at least shuttered for now. Of course, we all want the comic shops, waiting for them to open back up and, you know, let's get back to business there. But so yeah, I took my graphic novel there, had him sign it. Just had a few words with him. Nothing that I remember. But and I wasn't, you know, I hadn't had the comic. I didn't have my comic at the time. You know, I probably just had sketches. I'm not gonna go show somebody just the sketches. So yeah, just said hi to him, and you know, I mentioned I think I'd bought the soundtrack. I don't know if the movie had come out by then exactly, but I remember I did get the soundtrack, and I told him how much I liked, you know, a lot of the music on there. The Cure had done an original song and such, and yeah, he was saying, yeah, it's not like the typical soundtrack where they just throw a bunch of music on. These all tie in with the storyline and such. So, and then of course, you know, I saw the film. So I think it came out in May, about in '94. So what is that? 26 years ago. It's almost May now, so almost 26 years to the day. But yeah, I remember seeing it. It was it's actually a little overcast today. It's about 12:30 noon, you know, middle of the day here, and it was pretty overcast in the morning, kind of cold and clammy. And that's what it was like when I saw the film that May. It wasn't raining, just really overcast, which really fit the mood of the film. And yeah, as you may know, Brandon Lee, unfortunately, you know, horribly, terribly, he was accidentally shot on the set. I guess there was an error with, you know, the crew members, whoever was responsible, not checking the gun correctly. It's not that there was a live round in it, if I remember. It was just, I don't know, like something was in it, right? Like a wad of something that. And so when the one actor pulled the trigger and shot at Brandon Lee like he was supposed to, instead of just like the flash, there was something, you know, there was enough of something in there to, unfortunately, you know, impact the man, and eventually, you know, died soon after at the hospital. But so yeah, that definitely cast a you know, dark shadow over the film. So I'm not going to say, but fortunately, but most of his, you know, I think all of his major Brandon Lee's scenes were filmed, so they were able to, you know, proceed with the releasing the film. I mean, all that work he put into it. You know, let's see it through. Was the belief. So yeah, the film, I remember watching it and just being like, wow, this is a really intense film. Very well done. You know, this is the early days of superhero movies. I mean, obviously there was always been superhero serials, right, in the 40s, and then there's been movies here and there. Obviously Superman in 78, and Batman 89. So it wasn't like superhero comic book movies weren't like a brand new genre, but they were still kind of maybe finding their footing. But regardless, they did a great job on the Crow film, I thought. Which is now kind of definitely got cult status at this point. But I remember after watching the film, coming outside, it was, yeah, just like I said, it was cold and overcast. And yeah, there was a certain mood after, especially after seeing that film, and the particular circumstances, unfortunately, what happened with the actor. Yeah, it was very. I still remember it to this day, just coming out of the theater, and just that really cold, dark, gray sky up above. So. So I imagine most of you have seen it. I mean, this type of channel I have here, definitely going to attract comic book fans and such. So yeah, I'm sure a good section of you have seen it. Curious if you're going to share your thoughts on the comments down below. It's like a live chat room, but it's delayed, right? I don't see the comments till after I post this video, and then you guys jump on board and share your opinions and such. So yeah, you might know that they made a film out of my comic El Muerto. So I do have a little passing crow story about that. So the film starred Wilmer Valderrama, right, from he's known for at the time playing Fez from that '70s show. Our film, El Muerto film, we made it in filmed it in 2005, like January, February, probably like mid-January to about mid-February. And one of the locations we filmed it at was in East LA, just outside the gates of Evergreen Cemetery or Memorial Park. I always call it cemetery, right? But sometimes I get the listing, Evergreen Memorial Park. But so right outside, literally outside the gate. In fact, me and Wilmer filmed a cameo. I filmed my cameo in the film right there at the gates. But that'll be a different story for another time. But just outside the gates, down the street, there was an action scene we had to film. So it was a car. A car had to go racing down the street, and then El Muerto comes running across. He's running between two houses, being chased by somebody. So he's got to run out into that street, right, as this car's coming down. And that car's got a little history. So the producer of El Muerto, Larry Ratner, he one of his previous movies he had done was I think it was probably the first one, the Jeffrey Dahmer film, starring what was the guy who plays Hawkeye in the Avengers movies? Jeremy Renner? I guess that was one of his first roles. He played Dahmer, serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer. Anyway, in that Dahmer film, there's this car. It's a station wagon. They called it the Dahmer Bomber because they kept the car, and they may use it for another film, and so they used it for the El Muerto film. So if you ever seen the Dahmer film, I think that one's just called Dahmer. Starring Jeremy Renner, and I think Bruce Davidson, the guy from he was a senator in the first X-Men film. I think he played Dahmer's dad. So I haven't seen that Dahmer film in years, but either Bruce Davidson or Jeremy Renner are driving that car, the Dahmer Bomber. Anyway, so the Dahmer Bomber's in our film, and the stuntman just had to drive that car, kind of race it down the street there. And, the Wilmer stunt double had to, as he ran out into the street, he had to dive out of the way of the car. So, and then, it's actually filmed right there on the street. And it's just a small residential street, so the car couldn't get too much speed, right? Just imagine the length of a block of a residential street. So the car had to race down, and then the stuntman, they do a cut, right? Like you see Wilmer jumping out in the street, and then it cuts, and then stuntman gets in place, and everything's, they're setting up the shot and everything, and so I'm having these weird thoughts, these frightening thoughts, getting worried. Just me. Those guys were professionals setting up the shot and everything, but I'm like, man. please let this stunt go right. You know, let's not have a horrible accident where someone gets hurt or worse. You know, just making this little freaking comic book film based on my property. You know, it's like, wow. I don't think I shared that with anybody there. I didn't want to razzle anybody. Like I said, you know, it was a simple enough shot, and I guess they say that about any stunt, right? But no, the car raced down the street, and the actor, you know, I forgot, he dived over it, whatever. The stuntman dived over, and then the car stops, and of course they switch out, then Wilmer gets on the floor. And so I was like, whew, okay, thank gosh, you know, we got through that one fine. You do not want to be, you know, anywhere like in the chain of would it be responsibility, or what do we call it? I mean, it's not really, I mean, it's not the fault of a particular person, right? But you don't want to be involved in a circumstance if something horrible happened on you know, making your movies. So it all worked out. So, you know, The Crow, I mean, turned out to be a very fertile idea, because there was, 3 sequels, right? There was a sequel, yeah, there was, well, the first Crow, then there was number 2 and 3, and a 4th one, if I remember, yeah, 4th one, which I had seen, I saw the 2nd one, I saw the 3rd, which I wasn't, you know, just seems to be getting farther away, or it's kind of like, okay, you already did the story, what more, you know, but you're kind of repeating the same thing, where a guy, you know, yet another guy gets the crow power and he's going to get vengeance for his murder and such. But definitely the original is definitely the classic. And oh, you know what, just yesterday I got these, I ordered, because, you know, a lot of the art stores are, well, most stores are closed, non-essential. What, art supplies aren't essential? So I used to go to Michael's or Blick's, but so I just ordered these online from Blick's, Tombow brush pens, and I was out of black. It's like, yeah, I'm always gonna need black markers. So I ordered a pack of 6 right here, and never got them, like a 6-pack's pretty cool. So man, you saw it here on camera, fresh out of the box. It was an N15 black Tombow brush pen. So now if it doesn't work, you're my proof, because I can get a refund, right? It's like, hey, it didn't work on camera. But no, look at that, it works like a charm. Man, my train of thought, I know I was thinking that, I think I was talking about something, right? The sequels. Yeah, it was a TV show also of The Crow. So one season with Mark Dacascos. He's a martial artist, actor, been in several things, a lot of things over the years. He was also in another comic book film, Crying Freeman. It's a Japanese comic. So, okay, so I'm gonna watch my time here, right? I'm trying to keep these down to 30 minutes. You'll notice I'm drawing on smaller paper. Well, I'm drawing an actual sketchbook. Normally I use like an 11 by 14 sheet of paper. The reason I picked the sketchbook is, you know, it's smaller, so I figure, okay, I could get the whole thing done in time, you know, in this video, including, you saw me pencil it. The last couple of the last couple of drawing demos I've done on the show, I think I had already had the character drawn out in the blue pencil, so I just colored it. So I'm figuring, like, well, they're called drawing demos, maybe I should, you know, draw it on camera. So I've just done that. And then, you know, I like to fill up my sketchbook with my drawings here, so this will be yet another page of it. I don't know if anyone's ever wondered, because, you know, you guys saw my other video when I flipped through my sketchbook. In fact, what's this? I posted this one just the other day on my social networks. The Man-Wolf, Marvel Comics character from the 70s. But you know, every time I do these type of what we call fan art drawings, even when I do just my own characters, you guys notice for the most part I never do backgrounds. Two reasons for that. One of them is, well, this is my sketchbook and I'm just doing like a quick study. So, you know, for me, like, I don't need the background. It's just like, I'm not trying to, you know, present like this full piece to someone. It's just like, okay, it's just, there's the character. But when I was younger, and I mentioned this, I'm sure before, my older brother, Albert, he's the one who gave me his stack of comics, but he used to have a sketchbook, you know, white paper. I think it was this direction where, you know, like on the cover, like the title would be the sideways like that. So like automatically he would always just draw everything, you know, like that horizontal landscape. But he used to do these football, baseball, sport characters, kind of cartoony, right? Big jaws, big arms, and like thinner legs, small feet. And he would just have like you know, doing all these different baseball positions, right? Or football, you know, catching the ball, running with the ball, sliding into home base, you know, tackling some other guy. And I would just flip through the book, and he never put backgrounds as far as I remember. Maybe once or twice if the guy's sliding into third base, he'll put the dirt and maybe the base or something. But, you know, I thought about this. It left an impression on me as far, not just like inspiring me to like, oh, I want to draw now. So that was my big drawing inspiration. But it just always left that idea in my head of, you know, drawing, doing a color picture of a character just on a plain white background. So those are basically the reasons why I am always leaving these, you know, blank, my backgrounds, at least on these type of sketchbook drawings and such. And like I said, it's quicker, you know, it's a little bit of lazy or just time expediency really, but aesthetically, I don't know, I like it, just like the characters floating in this white space. Okay, look, I lost my new black marker. I think this is it. Although I might put a little background in this one. Actually, I did a sketch of this earlier, and there was something in that's why I left it empty on that side. So I guess let's go to that. Okay, I still got 10 minutes. Yeah, so see, I got the majority of the, you know, the drawing's pretty much done there, so. There's Eric Draven's mime makeup. Okay, let me sketch this out here. What am I gonna do here? All right. I'll just draw it, and then you'll see after what it is, right? Yeah, and I'm gonna keep this quick and loose. I'm not gonna bring out the rulers or anything, so. Being created before your eyes. All right, so it's roughly based on this. Crow takes place in Detroit, So I was looking up churches. This is, I think it's called the old, I think it's the old, let me look it up right here. The old St. Mary's Catholic Church. But the reason it's going to be kind of hidden away like that is, let's see. All right. Well, if you saw the film, definitely, you probably remember a lot of fire, right? The city ablaze towards the end. So, like I said, I think I said this with the spawn drawing I did in the other video. You know, it never hurts having a fiery red background. So that's what we're gonna do here. Burn, baby, burn. But what do they say? Out of, out of a fire, new things are born. Phoenix and all that. Painting with marker. Here we go. Just keeping it really loose and expressive. I remember one time in college, Rio Hondo College, my painting class, I had this fantastic instructor, Mr. Richard Lopez, who I was very sorry to find out of just a few years ago. He had passed away, maybe not too long ago when I, found out about it. But yeah, I remember, painting a model in his class. And it was, large canvas, 24 by 36 or 30 by 40. And we're all just painting, the instructor always walks around the class during the session, just kind of, talking or whatever. And I remember he came behind me and, I'm sure most students are like that. I sure was. I didn't turn around looking, but I'm aware he's back there and that he stopped. Like, oh, okay, he's behind me. And you can just sense him looking and maybe, turning his head one side to the other. And he just said, like, hey, I really like those colors, just very vibrant. So that was pretty cool. I probably have that painting somewhere. I think it was either, sometimes you'd have like a young girl come in, she'd be wearing costumes, whatever. Or it might have been an old lady, an older elderly woman who also wore really loud dresses. But whatever it was like a very loud flower print pattern on it. So I remember just doing really quick, expressive coloring on it. And then like the background, I think I had a lot of greens and yellows and such. Anyway, he, I don't know, after he said that and just he kept walking, you kind of puff your chair up, like, hey, your chest up. Hey, okay, cool. I did pretty good. He liked it. So, hey, if you're in an art class, you get a good word from the instructor. Yeah, that's very nice. Very nice. You see those happy accidents? You always hear people say happy accidents. Didn't Bob Ross always say that? So I'm smearing the, I should say I planned that, but I just want to have some gray in it. But it started smearing the red, so okay, that's good. That's good. Right? And then let's get darker as we go up. And that painting class, well, just all the college classes, the junior college there, you know, it's a big step up from high school art classes, because you're using, you know, doing new techniques. You actually get to, you know, just the fact you have like actual models at that point. We definitely didn't have any nude models in any of the high school classes, or any models, to be honest. So yeah, definitely just expanding your knowledge base and technique and exploration of, you know, different form, like in my case, like color in the painting classes, and just actually learning about the human body, the anatomy, how it works. You know, like you always hear artists say, study the basics first, the foundations, like actually see how a body's put together and how a joint fits in another joint in a socket, and how an arm moves, and how a person looks when they bend this way or that way. And then you can, you know, sit and stylize it as you develop your comic book style, in quotations, or just the way you draw. It's actually the way you, I think it's the way you see things too. At least how you know, how you see them for the purpose of putting it on paper. You know, when I look down at the street, I don't see it like this. I see it the way it, you know, really is. But your prerogative as an artist, you can bend, you know, you can bend and twist and reshape the way the world is to fit your style there. So anyway, well, here we go. Here's a quick crow drawing. Let me, I haven't actually, okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm much happier with the face than when the first initial pencil I put down, because it was way off. You know, I said it right there on camera. In fact, I was thinking maybe I should delete the video if it looks that horrible. But you know what? I don't care, because that was the initial thing. And now this is, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to look at it here myself. And there you go. I'm happy with it. There we go. The Crow, created by James O'Barr. This one illustrated by me, Javier Hernandez. So thanks a lot. Thanks for sitting here and watching this video. Please comment down below, you know, anything you have to say about what you saw, or like I said, your thoughts on the Crow film or comic, or your thoughts on whatever you want to share. But thanks everybody. Please remember to subscribe if you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed. I'd appreciate that. And we'll see each other again next time. Thanks.